my beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations, and I'm Nova, and I am so happy you decided to join me today. I hope you and your loved ones are doing awesome. I hope you are taking care of the best that you can. Hopefully you're doing something that brings you some joy today. I challenge you to set aside at least 5 minutes to do something that just makes you happy, not something that's required of you, not something you promise to anyone else, not a chore, not a necessity, but just something that's going to make you happy. Like just something that's for you. I challenge you to do that today. Today I am going to be working on a mandala. Kind of funny because I've got Mandala Mondays running right now with the mandala blanket, but you guys remember my Crescent Moon project? Well, I am going to make the sun today. So I'm actually filming this after I just finished making the sun, but I've been filming all day while I worked on it. So let us travel back in time and you can come along with me on the journey of making a mandala sun for my wall. Okay, so pardon the disheveled look, but I just woke up and I'm like, really woke up feeling this project. So this is the bamboo ring that I got at Hobby Lobby. Here's what it looks like. And it was in the clearance section and it was originally $10.99. There you go. So it was originally $10.99. I got it for $2.74. Heck yeah. Clearance girlies unite. I am a huge fiend for a clearance. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. But what I was thinking was, I got this when I bought that metal ring, or metal partial ring that I got in the clearance. No idea what that was even supposed to be for originally. I'm just seeing if there's any other info on here that I want. Bamboo ring, natural, 10 inches, 10 millimeters thick. And the partial metal ring and this bamboo ring were basically the same size. The partial metal ring was obviously not a complete circle, but it was basically the same size. So I already made the moon. If you want to see the crescent moon, I will link that video in the description box. If you want to see it and I forget to link it in the description box, just let me know and I'll go grab it and put it in there. I'm filming this in advance while I'm working on this, so there's a chance I will forget by the time I post the video. But I am going to make a sun with this one. So I have a sun and a moon. And I'm thinking I'm going to use this yarn. It'll depend on when I start working it up if it looks like how I want it to. But I wanted something that was really I wish I had a yarn that was an ombre gradient in a thinner yarn, but that was yellow to red. So yellow, orange, red. That would be ideal, but I don't have anything like that. This is the closest I could find. So we'll see how this goes. This is fruity stripe. So I don't know if it's got red enough in it. It's got yellow and orange. And then the other color is more of a, I don't know, it's a reddy pink and then a purpley color. So I'm not really sure if it's going to do exactly what I want it to do. And it starts with this color. So I'm probably going to do a little bit of controlled pooling. I want to start with yellow in the middle, right? Suns usually are brighter, lighter in the middle and then get darker, darker red or whatever at the edges. I say that we have multiple suns for reference, but you know what I mean? Art of suns usually has the reddy orangey colors on the outside. So that's what I'm thinking. But what I'm thinking is, excuse me, I want to do a mandala in here. So I'm going to start looking for a mandala. So I guess I need a 10-inch mandala if it was in worsted weight yarn. But if I find a mandala that I like that's not that size, I can, just compromise and work with it, work it to the size that I can do, that will fit, and then, modify it type of thing. So I'm not really super constricted by the size, but that is the size I'm looking at. All right, so I went ahead and I did the Serenity Mandala from Wizard of Loops on YouTube. I'll link it in the description box in case you're interested. I modified it a little bit. I did take out a row around a few rounds back, and I'm ending it early. This is I think to round 9, like I said, minus a round in it in the first place, just to try to make it fit my hoop. And then I'm using this worsted weight yarn that I told you guys I was going to use, and I'm using a 3.5 millimeter hook because I wanted this to be like nice and tight, and you know, I don't know, I just wanted to use a 3.5 millimeter hook. So this is what it's looking like. I'm kind of in my lighting, but you guys get the idea. I think it's looking so good. Now I need to figure out how I want to attach it to the hoop, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what it was looking like. Alright, so for my next step to get it to be attachable to the hoop, I went ahead and I single crocheted through the top of these little puff loop things, puff stitches, I guess. And it's actually like through the top of it. I single crocheted, and then I chained 8, because I think 8 will be a good amount. That will make it so that it has, you know, something here to actually attach to the hoop with. So now that I'm working on attaching this, I wanted to check in and kind of tell you what I'm doing, because I did have to think on the fly about how to make this fit. This mandala is about exactly the size of this hoop right now, but I didn't want to take any more rows or rounds off of the pattern because I wanted it to end with these pretty little like clusters of 3 puff stitches. So what I'm doing is, you know how I told you guys I did the chains, single crochets, to give myself something to attach on to my hoop with. Well, I started out by just crocheting around both the chains and the hoop with single crochets, and I was doing 8 single crochets in between, because I did, you know, 8 chain, like a chain of 8, and then single crocheting into the top of the single crochet, and then 8. The issue I was having was once I went around the edges and like secured it in intervals to see how it was looking, this was going to be a little floppy. It wasn't going to be pulled taut. So what I started doing was, you can actually see where I started about right here. You'll notice you don't see that single crochet. And the reason behind that is what I'm doing now is this chain, while I'm doing my single crochets, before and after the like little point up here where the single crochet is, I'm actually slip stitching this chain up into like my stitches up here, so that it's kind of pulling this chain up and behind. Let me see if flipping it'll kind of give you an idea. So you see when I slip stitch it, it's pulling it up with these stitches that are on the top, and that's making it stretch more than, like, say I was having it just like this pressed between you know, in my single crochet. Well, now it's wrapping up and around up onto the top, and that's pulling it tighter. All right, so I have been working on this pretty much all day. It is now almost 6 p.m. So, and I did take, like, you know, a little nap and stuff like that, but otherwise I've been working on this all day. But I did manage to make it all in one day, so that's pretty awesome. I finished it, and this is what it came out like. So upon finishing this, I do realize that this is not a perfect circle. Let me mute my computer real quick just in case I get messages. Okay, I do realize that this bamboo circle is not a perfect circle. Depending on the way that you have it facing, I think it was like this, that it made me realize the bamboo is not a perfect circle, which is totally fine. I think it adds a little character to it. But this is my, like, interpretation of a sun for my counterpart to my little crescent moon that I made. Like I said, they should be about the same size, and I have not put the crescent moon on the wall yet. So now that I've got the sun done, I purposely didn't put the crescent moon up yet because I wanted to be able to put both of them up and kind of figure out where I want them. I know where in the house I want them, but I want to figure out, like, placement wise how I want it. I'm also trying to figure out how I want to hang it, like what I want the top to be, what I want the bottom to be. As far as the yarn went, I have this left, What I ended up doing was I worked from the outside of the yarn, which if you know me, I do not work from the outside of the yarn. I work from the inside of the yarn. I like my center pulls a lot, but I worked from the outside because I wanted really badly to start with yellow. I felt like it was necessary, and the outside started with yellow, so it kept me from having to pull out until about halfway through, because if you see, I just got to the yellow working from the center also. So what happened was I worked from the outside until I got to this like purple color. When I got to this purple color, I cut off, and then I pulled from the center to get this purple color out until I got to the red. And then I tied the two together doing like a seamless knot. I did a magic knot and cut it like really short so that there wasn't like a big long tail. And then I just continued crocheting with it. So that's what I did when I got to the part where like you see it starts to get darker red. And then I actually connected on with the darker red. Like I said, I got to the part where it was the same exact color, which was perfect. Like it was right after this purple. And then I just continued my mandala with that red color, and then when it got back to like the orange and the yellow, it started to hit orange right here at the end, and then continued around and it did orange and yellow. I actually really love it. I think it makes like a nice halo kind of effect to it. I think it works really well for our sun aspect. So this was Red Heart Super Saver Fruity Stripe. I used a good chunk of this. Like I said, I worked from the outside and the inside, so it is also hollow on the inside, so very much a floppy, but I've still got a good little amount here. And then I actually really love this purple, so while it didn't work for this particular project because I wanted specific colors, I will absolutely use this purple. Like I'm actually excited that I got to color control this purple out because I will use this purple for something. Probably an amigurumi, but who knows? You never know what I'm gonna get up to. But I am pretty dang happy with it. I think I kind of gave you guys the lowdown of everything. The pattern that I used, well, video tutorial I followed actually, and like I said, I didn't do the whole one because I wanted it to fit my size. She used like a super skinny yarn and like a 1.5 millimeter hook. I was using a worsted weight yarn, and then I just used a 3.5 to make it nice and dense, and also so I could get more rows in, you know, it's tighter stitches. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I did rows 1 through 10 of her thingy, and she had 14 rows, so, or 14 rounds. And then I did remove just 1 round of half double crochets. During this, there are a couple rounds, or a couple spots where you stop and do like a round of half double crochets. I just took one of them out. I was realizing at that point that I was gonna run out of room, and so I was just like really wanting to make sure I got to these because I thought it would make a really nice edge for my sun, which I do think it made a really nice edge for my sun. But I'm super happy with it. I think it came out super cute. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed my little project. And I will go ahead and take you guys along with me for hanging them up so you can see where they ended up going. Alright, so here is where I put it in my bedroom. It's in this little corner I've got going on over here. And I'm like sitting on the bed to show you this. But there is my little sun and moon.